sound of breaking glass echoed through the phone line, sharp, violent, followed by a man's slurred shouting in the background. Then came her voice, barely above a whisper, trembling with a terror so raw it cut straight through the expensive leather interior of the black Bentley like a knife through silk. "Can you please come get me?" Ayla-chan said, her words cracking on the last syllable. I don't know where else to call." Ries Falcone didn't hesitate. He didn't ask questions. He didn't demand explanations. The man who controlled half of Chicago's underground economy, with nothing more than a raised eyebrow, simply said 3 words into the phone. "Stay on the line." Then he told his driver to break every traffic law between the financial district and the Southside warehouse district, because the woman who had spent 6 months meticulously organizing his schedules, answering his calls, and pretending she didn't notice the blood on his cufflinks after late-night meetings was in danger. And Ries Falcone didn't let people who belonged to him get hurt. Would you stay on the phone with a dangerous man if he was your only way out? Or would you hang up and face the nightmare alone? Drop stay or hang up in the comments right now. This is the story of a secretary who thought she was invisible, and the mafia boss who proved her wrong in the most dangerous way possible. Ayla had been working for Falcone Enterprises for exactly 183 days. She kept track not out of pride, but out of survival. Every day she showed up to the sleek glass tower overlooking Lake Michigan was another day she hadn't been fired for being too quiet, too plain, too forgettable. The other assistants were tall, polished, sharp-edged women who wore designer heels and spoke 3 languages. Isla wore discount blazers from outlet stores and kept her head down because invisibility was safer than being noticed. Ries Falcone was not a man who noticed things that didn't demand attention. He moved through the executive floor like a shadow made of expensive fabric and controlled violence. Dark suits tailored to perfection. Salt and pepper hair always immaculate. Eyes the color of cold steel that could strip a man's confidence down to nothing with a single glance. He didn't smile. He didn't make small talk. He gave orders in a voice so calm it made grown men scramble to obey before the temperature in the room dropped another degree. Isla had seen him exactly 7 times in 6 months. Twice in the hallway. 3 times in the elevator. Once when she'd accidentally walked into the wrong conference room and found him sitting alone at the head of a table, staring at a file folder like it had personally offended him. She'd stammered an apology and backed out so fast she'd tripped over her own feet. He hadn't looked up. That was how she preferred it. Invisible. Forgettable. Safe. But tonight, safety had run out. Her ex-boyfriend, Marcus, had found her new address. She didn't know how. She'd been so careful. New apartment. New route to work. New phone number. But Marcus had always been good at finding things: credit card statements, old emails, people who owed him favors. And when he was drunk, which was most nights now, he was good at breaking things too. She'd heard him pounding on her apartment door at 9:47. Heard him shouting her name. Slurring accusations about money she allegedly owed him. Threats about what he'd do if she didn't open up. Her neighbor, Mrs. Chow, had called building security. Security had escorted him out. But Marcus had waited. He'd waited until she left for her second job, the late shift data entry gig. She worked 3 nights a week to pay off the credit card debt he'd racked up in her name. He'd followed her to the nearly empty office building in the warehouse district. He'd cornered her in the parking garage. And when she tried to run, he'd grabbed her wrist hard enough to bruise, yanked her toward his car, and shoved her inside. That's when she'd managed to pull her phone from her coat pocket. Her hands shaking so badly she almost dropped it. Her mind blank with panic except for one single thought. The emergency contact list her supervisor had made every employee fill out during onboarding. The one that asked for a name and number of someone who could be reached in case of crisis. Isla hadn't had anyone to put down. No family left. No close friends. Just an empty line she'd stared at for 10 minutes before writing down the only number she saw every single day on her computer screen. Ries Falcone. Direct line. She'd never expected him to answer, but he had. And now Marcus was screaming at her to hang up. One hand on the steering wheel, the other reaching for the phone. Isla pressed herself against the passenger door, the phone clutched to her chest. Ries's voice still on the line, low, steady, unshaken. Isla. He said her name like a command. Tell me what you see outside the car." She looked out the window, her breath coming in short, sharp gasps. "A warehouse. Red brick. Graffiti on the side. I think we're near the old docks." "Good." His voice was calm. Too calm. The kind of calm that came right before a storm. "Keep talking to me. What's the license plate on the car?" Marcus swerved suddenly, yanking the wheel hard to the left. Isla's head slammed against the window. Pain exploded across her temple. The phone slipped from her fingers, falling into the footwell. "Don't you dare," Marcus snarled, his face twisted with rage and alcohol. "Don't you dare call anyone. This is between us." Isla's vision blurred. She tasted copper, blood from where she'd bitten her tongue. She reached down, fingers scrambling across the dirty car mat, searching for the phone. She found it, brought it back to her ear. Reese's voice cut through the panic like a blade. "Isla, are you hurt?" Her voice broke. "I'm okay." "You're not okay." His tone didn't change. Still calm, still steady, but underneath it something darker. Something that made the hairs on the back of her neck stand up. "But you will be. I'm 3 minutes away." Marcus heard it. He ripped the phone from her hand, hurled it out the window. Isla watched it shatter against the pavement, the screen going dark. Then Marcus stopped the car. Right there in the middle of an empty street lined with abandoned warehouses and rusted chain-link fences. He turned to her, his breath reeking of whiskey and rage. "You called him?" Marcus laughed, a bitter, ugly sound. "You called your boss? What's he gonna do? Fire me?" Isla didn't answer. She was staring past Marcus, out the driver's side window, at the pair of headlights cutting through the darkness behind them. Headlights that weren't slowing down. Marcus saw her expression, turned. His face went pale. The black Bentley didn't stop. It didn't brake. It slammed into the rear of Marcus's beat-up sedan with enough force to crumple the trunk like aluminum foil, sending the car lurching forward, tires screeching. Isla's seatbelt locked. Her body jerked, but she didn't scream, because the Bentley's door was already opening. And Reese Falcone stepped out into the glow of the headlights like death in a three-piece suit. He didn't run, didn't shout. He walked toward Marcus's car with the kind of slow, deliberate calm that made predators look away. His driver, a massive man named Kel with a scar running from his temple to his jaw, stayed by the Bentley, arms crossed, watching. Marcus scrambled out of the car, stumbling, hands raised. "Hey man, this is a misunderstanding. Reese didn't let him finish. He grabbed Marcus by the collar, lifting him onto his toes with one hand, and slammed him back against the car so hard the metal dented. "You put your hands on her," Reese said. His voice was quiet, conversational, like he was discussing the weather. "Explain to me why I shouldn't break every bone in your body right now." Marcus's eyes went wide. "She owes me money." Reese's other hand moved faster than Isla could track. She heard the impact, a sickening crack, and Marcus crumpled, clutching his nose, blood pouring between his fingers. "Wrong answer," Reese said. He didn't hit Marcus again. He didn't need to. He simply looked at Kel and said, "Take him to the South Dock. Make sure he understands that if he comes within a mile of Isla Chen again, we'll find pieces of him in 3 different rivers." Kel nodded once, grabbed Marcus by the back of his shirt, dragged him toward the Bentley's trunk. Reese turned, walked to the passenger side of Marcus's car, opened the door. Isla sat frozen, her hands trembling in her lap, blood trickling from the cut on her temple. Reese crouched down so they were eye level. His gaze swept over her face, the bruise forming on her cheek, the blood on her temple, the terror still lingering in her eyes. "Can you walk?" he asked. She nodded, didn't trust her voice. He offered his hand. She took it. His grip was warm, steady, the kind of solid that made the ground feel less like it was tilting beneath her feet. He helped her out of the car, guided her toward the Bentley with a hand on the small of her back, not possessive, just present, anchoring. Once she was inside the leather interior that smelled like cedar and expensive cologne, he slid in beside her, pulled a clean handkerchief from his pocket, pressed it gently against the cut on her temple. Isla flinched, not from pain, from the sheer strangeness of it. Reese Falcone, the man who could end a business deal with a single word, the man who had entire floors of lawyers and enforcers at his command, was sitting in the back of his Bentley, holding a handkerchief to her bleeding forehead like it was the most natural thing in the world. "I'm sorry," she whispered. His hand stilled. "For what?" "For calling you. For dragging you into this." Reese looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time in 6 months, Isla didn't feel invisible. "You didn't drag me anywhere," he said quietly. "You called for help. That's what you're supposed to do." Her eyes stung. She looked away, blinking hard. "Where do you live?" Reese asked. She told him. He relayed the address to the driver. The Bentley pulled away from the wreckage of Marcus's car, gliding through the dark streets like a shadow. They didn't speak for the next 10 minutes. Isla stared out the window, her hands folded in her lap, trying to process what had just happened. Trying to understand why Reese Falcone, a man who barely knew she existed, had answered her call at 10:15 on a Thursday night and driven into the worst part of the city to pull her out of a nightmare. When the Bentley stopped in front of her apartment building, Reese got out first, opened her door, offered his hand again. She took it, again. He walked her to the entrance, waited while she fumbled with her keys. When she finally got the door open, she turned back to him. "Thank you," she said. Her voice was steadier now. I don't know how to repay you." Reese's expression didn't change. "You don't." He turned to leave. "Mr. Falcone." He stopped, looked back. "Why did you come?" Isla asked. "You don't even know me." Reese studied her for a moment. Then he said, "You've been answering my calls for 6 months. Filing reports I'll never read. Organizing meetings I forget about 5 minutes later. But every morning when I walk past your desk, my coffee is exactly the way I like it. Still hot. 2 sugars. No cream. You've never asked for credit. Never asked for a raise. Never asked for anything." He paused. "So when you finally did ask," he said quietly, "I wasn't going to ignore it." Isla's breath caught. She wanted to say something. Anything. But the words wouldn't come. Reese stepped closer. Not close enough to crowd her. Just close enough that she could smell the faint scent of his cologne, something dark and expensive that made her think of old libraries and locked rooms. "Marcus won't bother you again," he said. "But in case anyone else tries, you're going to keep this." He pulled something from his pocket. A phone. Brand new. Top of the line. "My number's already programmed," Reese continued. "Direct line. If you're ever in trouble again, you call me. Not the police. Not security. Me." Isla took the phone with shaking hands. "I can't accept this. It's not a gift," Reese interrupted. "It's insurance. You work for me. That means you're under my protection. Anyone who touches you answers to me." The weight of those words settled over her like a heavy cloak. She should have been terrified, should have recognized the possessive edge in his tone for what it was. But all she felt was safe. "I don't understand," she whispered. "Why do you care?" Reese's jaw tightened. For a moment, he looked like he was going to say something that would change everything between them. Instead, he said, "Get some rest, Isla. I'll see you Monday." Then he walked back to the Bentley and disappeared into the night. Isla stood in the doorway long after the taillights faded. Her mind racing, her heart pounding, the new phone heavy in her hand. She thought that would be the end of it. She was wrong. The next morning, Isla woke to 17 missed calls. Not from Reese. From the hospital. Marcus had been found unconscious on the docks. Severe injuries. Internal bleeding. The doctors said it looked like he'd been in a fight. A bad one. Isla sat on the edge of her bed, staring at her phone, her stomach churning. She should call the police. Should tell them what she knew. But she didn't. Because deep down, she knew exactly what had happened. Reese hadn't just scared Marcus. He'd made sure Marcus would never be a threat again. And the worst part? She wasn't horrified. She was relieved. That Monday, Isla showed up to work at exactly 8:30. Same as always. She kept her head down, stayed invisible. But when she sat down at her desk, there was something waiting for her. A single white envelope, her name written in sharp, precise handwriting. She opened it with trembling fingers. Inside was a keycard, heavy, black, embossed with gold lettering. Falcone Enterprises, executive floor access, and a handwritten note on expensive stationery. You've been working below your pay grade for 6 months. Your new office is on the 40th floor. Report to my assistant at 9. We need to discuss your new position. RF. Isla stared at the note, then at the keycard. This wasn't a promotion. This was a summons. At exactly 9 o'clock, Isla stepped off the elevator onto the 40th floor. The executive suite was all glass and steel, polished marble floors, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. And at the far end of the hall, behind frosted glass doors, was Reese Falcone's office. His assistant, a sharp-eyed woman named Vera, gestured toward the doors without a word. Isla walked forward, knocked. "Come in." She pushed the doors open. Reese stood at the window, hands in his pockets, looking out over Chicago. He didn't turn when she entered. "Close the door," he said. She did. Silence stretched between them. Isla's heart pounded so hard she could hear it in her ears. Finally, Reese turned. His expression was unreadable, but his eyes, those cold steel eyes, were fixed on her with an intensity that made her forget how to breathe. "Marcus is in intensive care," he said. "He'll live, but he'll never walk without a limp again." Isla swallowed hard. "Did you?" "I don't do my own dirty work," Reese interrupted, "but I make sure it gets done." He crossed the room, stopped a foot away from her, close enough that she could see the faint scar along his jawline, close enough that the scent of his cologne wrapped around her like smoke. "You're gonna ask me if I feel guilty," Reese said. "If I regret what happened to him." Isla shook her head. "No, I'm not." His eyes narrowed. "Why not?" "Because I already know the answer." Her voice was steadier than she expected. "You don't regret it, and neither do I." Something flickered in Reese's gaze. Surprise. Or maybe recognition. "You should be afraid of me," he said quietly. "I know. You should run." "I'm not going to." Reese stared at her for a long moment. Then he reached out, his hand cupping her jaw with a gentleness that contradicted everything she knew about him. "I didn't bring you up here to promote you," he said. "I brought you here because I need you to understand something." "What?" Isla whispered. "You called me that night because you had no one else. But now you do. You have me, and I don't let go of what's mine." His thumb traced the faint bruise on her cheekbone, the one Marcus had left. "You're not my secretary anymore, Isla," Reese continued. "You're under my protection. That means you don't work late shifts in the warehouse district. You don't take the bus home. You don't put yourself in danger. Ever again. Can't just. You can. And you will." His voice hardened. "Because if something happens to you, I'll burn this city to the ground to find out who's responsible." Isla's breath hitched. She should pull away, should tell him he was being insane. But instead, she leaned into his touch. "What do you want from me?" she asked. Reese's gaze dropped to her lips, then back to her eyes. "Everything," he said. Then he kissed her. It wasn't gentle, wasn't tentative. It was claiming, possessive. The kind of kiss that left no room for doubt about who she belonged to now. When he pulled back, Isla's knees were weak, her heart racing. "Your new office is next door," Reese said, his voice rough. "Your new salary is triple what you were making. And from now on, you answer to me, no one else." Isla stared at him. "You're serious?" "I don't joke about what's mine." She should have been terrified. Should have recognized this for what it was, a man used to controlling everything around him, extending that control to her. But all she felt was wanted. For the first time in her life, someone saw her, really saw her, and refused to let her disappear. "Okay," she whispered. Reese's hand tightened on her jaw. "Say it again." "Okay." Louder this time, steadier. A slow, dangerous smile curved his lips. "Good girl." He released her, stepped back, straightened his tie like nothing had happened. "Vera will show you to your office," he said. "We have a meeting at 11. Don't be late. Isla nodded. Turned to leave. Isla. She stopped, looked back. Welcome to the 40th floor, Reese said. Try not to get too comfortable. I have other plans for you. Then he turned back to the window, dismissed her without another word. Isla walked out of his office on shaking legs, her mind spinning, her lips still tingling from his kiss. She thought accepting his protection would be enough. She had no idea that Reese Falcone didn't just protect what was his. He owned it. And now, whether she was ready or not, she belonged to him. 3 months later, Isla stood in Reese's penthouse overlooking the city, wearing a diamond ring that cost more than her entire year's salary. She'd moved in 2 weeks ago, not because he'd demanded it, but because she'd stopped pretending she wanted to be anywhere else. Marcus had left the city. Rumor had it he was in rehab somewhere on the West Coast. Isla didn't ask, didn't care. Her old life, the one where she was invisible and scared, felt like it belonged to someone else. Now she was the woman who stood beside Reese Falcone at charity galas. The woman who knew which files to pull before he asked. The woman who understood that the blood on his cufflinks wasn't something to fear. It was the price of safety in a world that didn't give it for free. Come to bed, Reese called from the bedroom. Isla smiled, set down her wine glass, walked toward the man who had saved her life and claimed her heart in the same breath. Some people spent their whole lives waiting to be seen. Isla Chun learned that sometimes, being seen by the right person, even a dangerous one, was worth every risk. If this story reminded you that sometimes the most dangerous love is the one that saves you, tell me in the comments, would you trade safety for freedom, or freedom for the arms of someone who'd burn the world down to keep you safe? Your answer might surprise you.